guys, how's it going? Welcome to the Monday recap video where I'm going to take all of last week's videos and answer questions that you guys had. Before we get into that though, there are a couple things I wanted to talk about. First off, it snowed yesterday. We got like 4 or 5 inches and it's beautiful. I wanted to sit out here and enjoy every last drop of it because it's actually not that cold today and it's starting to melt. It'll probably be gone by tomorrow. So I thought it would be fun and it looks really pretty in the background. Second, I wanted to talk about Coppa because we've had several messages and comments from you guys wondering if it was going to be affecting our channel. So Coppa stands for Children's Online Privacy Protection Act. I know it's not going to affect our channel, but I feel like I would be inadequate in describing or explaining what it is because I haven't really been following everything. Aaron has though. Maybe he'll jump in really quick and explain what is going on.
Okay, so here's how I understand it, and I might be wrong too, because there's a lot of information floating around. So it's currently illegal, as I understand, to target advertisements to children under the age of 13, and I think that YouTube has been doing that. There's a lot of companies that want their ads, playing for a specific audience, and I guess that's not, you can't do that. So they're now having us check a box if our video is made for children or made for adults. All of our stuff is made specifically for adults. Obviously, children can watch, but it's not made specifically.
Family friendly.
Yeah, it's family friendly, but it's not made for children, so we're fine. But I guess if you mark the box that you're making children's content, you make like 90% less, and you don't get a comment section. The videos aren't recommended, and there's no notifications that go out. So basically, if you make children's content, it's the videos just kind of go off into the void and maybe no one will see them. So
which is sad because really sad. That kind of means that I think we will see a sharp decline in the amount of kids channels that are even doing it anymore.
Yeah, and it's like you're creating a void of like good kids content, and so the only thing that's going to be available on YouTube anymore is going to be videos that are not made for kids, and they're going to get on YouTube anyway, so they're just going to find a bunch of content that's
not
like
appropriate,
potentially not appropriate.
Yeah.
So I think it's kind of a bad move, but it's not YouTube's fault really. It's just the way the laws work, and nothing that they can really do about it. Nothing that we can do about it either, that as far as I understand. So anyway, that's kind of what it comes down to. We'll be fine, and
yeah, it doesn't really affect our day-to-day.
It's sad to see the kids channels go. So
it is.
Anyway,
yeah, thanks.
I think that comes into effect January 1st.
It's been around since like '98 though, right?
Well, the law. But as far as like YouTube, and they got fined like, I don't know, like hundreds of millions of dollars too for what they were doing, which they probably shouldn't have been doing, but it is what it is, I guess. So that's
what we know. That's what Aaron knows. The third thing I wanted to talk about is that we do have some Christmas merch available. So basically what we did is we usually have like a little topiary next to our logo, our Garden Dancer logo is a topiary with our Garden Dancer name. And instead of the topiary, it's now a wreath. And I am supposed to be getting mine like any day. I don't even have mine yet. It's probably going to arrive today. Yeah. Probably. So if you are interested in that, those will be in our merch store on our website. We'll link it down below. Also, if any of you are planning on attending any of the shows we're going to go to, which those are listed on our events section on our website, which we will also link down below. If you happen to have one of our shirts or a hat or whatever, and you wear it to the show, there will be some giveaways involved with that, so just bear that in mind. Okay, so let's get into the videos. The first one, let me find it, is arranging more winter containers trying moss. So in that video, I just decked out 2 sets of containers for winter. One of them I took more traditional with branches and very heavy gold winterberry holly, which is beautiful, and they've got like a nice covering of snow right now. They're so pretty. And then the second one I tried out just using royal pool moss and pine cones to give it a very simple, like peaceful look to it. Anyway, it was really fun. So first question is from Butternut. How do you get so much energy with family and kids to do what we do? So it definitely takes a team. We have gotten so much smarter over the years. In the beginning, we were doing 100% of everything ourselves. And now we realize those things that don't necessarily need our attention, we can delegate those things out. So we try to be as smart with our time as possible. And then when we added Benjamin to the mix, last year, it was really hard trying to find that balance, to figure out what are other things that I can give up so that, and let other people do so that I can have more time to, one, still do what we're doing video-wise and project-wise in our own garden, but also have a lot of time to spend with Benjamin. So anyway, yeah, definitely takes a team. Carol says, I love the look of the moss. How in the world can you spray paint without it getting on your clothes? Well, it sometimes gets on my clothes, not very often. I do a lot of spray painting though, and I just try to stay downwind. Upwind. Not downwind. Upwind. Is that the right term?
Yeah.
Okay. Michelle asks, won't the moss turn brown? Where did you get this moss? So the moss is called Royal Pool Moss. It's from the Super Moss brand. It's what my parents carry down at the garden center. It was once living moss. It's not living anymore, so it's been preserved. And sometimes they've been colored a little bit. I'm not sure that this one has been, but they maintain their color for quite a long time. It eventually will turn brown, especially once it's been exposed to a lot of moisture and mostly light. Light will bleach it out a little bit, but I find that it lasts for quite a long time. Elby says, well, why don't you use living moss? You should check out Moss and Annie. You know, I've thought about that, but we live in an extremely dry climate. We have no moss anywhere. And I think if I was like to try to grow moss, I would have to constantly be out here trying to keep it wet somehow, like misting it. We don't have very much humidity at all, very little moisture other than, you know, snow right now. Like, it's kind of like contradictory looking at the moment. But anyway, yeah, living moss just doesn't do it around here. Heather says, do you still have the Calicarpa planted by your angel statue? I've been hoping to see it in a garden tour or update. Yes, I do have that Calicarpa. In fact, I planted 2 more. So there's a little ring. We haven't updated it. They've put on a little bit of growth, but I was dealing with an iron problem last year with them. So you could see like the foliage had looked a little bit paler in color and the veining was dark. So we've put iron tone around the base, and I'm hoping to kind of correct that problem. So we'll probably be giving you an update this next season once they actually have leaves back on them. Teresa said, can I order the bench? Yes. So we actually got that bench, I think on Amazon. It was called like the Lutyens bench. We'll link it down below. You can also get a very similar bench from Plow and Hearth. I have 2 of them up on our front balcony area. They are smaller in size, but about the same shape. Julie says, where do you get your red and gold winterberry holly branches? I've never seen you forage for them, but I haven't seen them in your yard until just barely. And that's because I haven't had them in my yard until just recently when we planted the Berry Poppins winterberry hollies over on the west side of our garden, and I'm so happy to finally have some in my garden. I'm looking forward to seeing how they do here because we're very, very high pH, but I'm kind of determined to have them work. But I have every year have been able to work with some of those type of branches, either the gold or the red variety. And as you guys know, we have a really close working relationship with Proven Winners, and so their shrub division, Spring Meadow Nursery, they have fields and fields of these things planted, and they go out and harvest and send us a small amount every year to work with for holiday projects, which is so awesome. They don't sell like to the public. They don't have a retail. So if you want to start a YouTube channel, maybe in a few years, you know, you have somebody sending you a few of these branches. You might check though with your local garden center or a local florist, because I know like my parents' garden center has beautiful holly branches right now. They're like the traditional kind with the really pointy leaves and the red berries. And then I know you can order them from a florist this time of year if that's something that you're looking for. Oh, otherwise you can plant some of those in your yard this next year. So the next video was our hose quick connect buying guide, which you guys seem to really enjoy, and that makes me really happy because these little things are just amazing. They've been a game changer in our garden. Basically what they do is they help us quickly disconnect or reconnect hoses. Hi baby, do you have some yogurt? Come here. Oh, here's Benjamin with his go-gurt, enjoying some snow. So basically your quick connects help you to quickly connect or disconnect your hose from the faucet or your hose and accessories like your sprinklers and your water wands. And they've been so amazing here. We tried out the dram in the very first time I ever tried a quick connect. And after that, we outfitted our entire property with them. You want to go play? So anyway, the first question was from Maren Calmoon. Do you have one where you review watering wands? We actually don't have a specific video reviewing them. My go-to watering wand is from Dram. It's what we've always used around here, and it's what we use down at the garden center for years and years. I just tried out a new one this year. It's from a company, I think it's a German company called Geka. It's spelled G-E-K-A. I have no idea how you can buy them though. I've got to figure out how I can even get my hands on more of them because I really, really like them. They feel really nice. They work really well. I've only used it for about half of this past gardening season, so I'm excited to try it out a little bit longer next year. But anyway, we may come out with a video along those lines after I've tried that one out and if we can get our hands on any more. Jennifer says, would you please do a similar video on a grow light system? I used an individual grow bulb last year, but want to expand to a larger system for spring veggie starts. So we have done a few videos about grow light systems. We've partnered with Gardener Supply on those videos, so all of them come from Gardener Supply. So I've tried out multiple different kinds of systems, like the stack and grow system. There's the sunlight gardens. There's different tiers, like 2-tier or 3-tier. Also tried out the bamboo LED grow light gardens. They're all really good. I think my favorite out of all 3 are the 3-tier sunlight gardens with the LED bulbs. The awesome part about the LED bulbs, which I retrofitted mine, I got the regular 3-tier garden, and then I got the LED bulbs later and put those in. You don't have to raise and lower the LED lights because they're like twice as strong as the other LED lights that are on the market. So like for seedlings, you don't have to raise and lower them, which just makes it easier. Anyway, I find that they're really helpful for starting seeds and keeping my succulents and all that kind of stuff. So we'll link those videos down below so you can learn a little bit more if you'd like. Elizabeth says, do you remove the disconnects when you winterize the faucets? I'm just trying to think of the maintenance. So we don't. They're still, I'm looking at a faucet right now and it's got the end of a quick connect on it. Haven't had any problems with it thus far. Diane says, is there a link for the heavy duty industry quick connect? No. So that brand, the brand of that one was also Gecka. Also when we were trying to find how to get our hands on. Sorry about that. Rebecca says, my watering wand just broke into pieces the other day. What's your best recommendation for a new one? So at this point, I would say go for a Dram watering wand. Mark says, do you have any issues with them being difficult to disconnect with over time? I have the Ely connectors all over my garden, and sometimes they're very difficult to disconnect or get to engage and stay in the receptor. Curious if this brand has similar issues or if there's a remedy. So like I said, we've got Dram quick connects all over our property and haven't had any problems with those at all. And they've been here for several years and we don't disconnect them in the winter. So I've had really good luck. I am excited to try out those Gilmore ones though. The one that has kind of like that soft grip connector because it's so comfortable in my hands, and I don't know if that will break down over time or if I'll have any issues with that. So I want to try that out this next year. And like you said, you have the Ely ones and have had some problems with them over the years. You know, I've been really happy with the Dram ones thus far. The next video was making walnut cones and spheres, and the most common comment / question was about squirrels and how squirrels would want to make a feast of them. I displayed those outside for the ending pictures in that video, which I probably shouldn't have because they are not staying outside. I mean, they're foam base with moss glued to it. I mean, that's kind of a recipe for disaster, like exposing them to snow and moisture and stuff. They're actually going to be used in decorating projects inside. So squirrels and things will not be a problem. They'll be stored in Rubbermaid totes when I'm done with them. So mice won't be able to get to them. And then in terms of my walnut wreaths outside, we have squirrels around here and they never mess with my wreath. Looking at them right now, they look perfect. And I've seen squirrels all over the place and they haven't messed with them. So I don't know if maybe having them right up by your door would deter, you know, some animals from coming up, or I don't know. So squirrels haven't been an issue, but you would probably want to display these specific ones inside. Kat says, where did you get the big clumps of moss? So those were, I don't know what brand. I'll try to find it and put a link down below because I actually got a big box of it. It's just sheet moss. So you can get it in bags at the craft store. You can get it in larger bags, usually at the garden center. I happen to get a big kind of bulk box of it. So I'll try to find that. Megan says, I love your natural decorations. Could you do a video of the oranges with the cloves I've seen in your past Christmas decorating videos? So I do plan on making some of those this week and they'll probably be incorporated into one of our videos. It's super easy, you guys, though. I think it's like clove orange pomanders. I don't know if that's how you say that word, but it's basically just studding your oranges with cloves, and they're just a beautiful natural decoration to use for Christmas. It's like starting to mist out here and get a little cold, so I'm gonna barrel through the rest of these questions. It was not this cold when we started. Gah. Okay, Komichi says, is the moss alive or dead? The moss is not alive, it is dead. That's pretty much it for that video. So the very last video was where I decorated our church for Christmas, and that was such a fun project to share with you guys. I just showed you the whole, like every step it took for me to make those big Gothic arch windows, and then kind of my thought process behind the project. I was really happy with the results. I ended up kind of scaling back my idea and not using as much stuff because I wanted it, like the scale of everything was perfect. Like it filled up that space. There was a ton of detail just in the windows themselves. And I didn't want there to be too much. I didn't want there to be too much distraction. And then I got to thinking about all the snowflakes I wanted to put up, and I think it would have been too much. I think they would have swayed with the air in the room. There's air ducts right above, and I think that would have been distracting. So anyway, I'm really happy with how it came out. Amber said, would you consider making a printable pattern of these? No. it was so hard for me to come up with those. I think there was another question, I don't know if we pulled that one, but it was about whether or not I used a projector or if I did freehand, and they were definitely freehand. I used a ruler, and I had a pad of paper, and I was doing math. I knew I wanted my margins on the outside to be 3 inches. The center pieces were 2 inches. And so I made one of them 3 feet by 8 feet. That was the big one. And the other ones were 2.5 feet by 7 feet. And so I just figured out all my math. Like I, cut the bottom part into thirds and just made sure everything was even. The top was extremely difficult because I had to make sure everything matched as closely as possible. And doing arches, like I didn't have proper tools, and I'm not like gifted in, what's that type of, have one of those tables, like a drafting table. Is it drafting? Yeah. That's it. Is that right?
It's a drafting table. Yeah, I think so.
Is that like how they draw things? I don't know. There's probably proper tools to use to create like a perfect arch look without it being like rustic. That's what I was going for. Like, I'm going to do these freehand. They're going to be rustic windows, and then you can pass anything off if you call it rustic. CJ says, do the window arches stay at the church or do you take them home? So I will offer them to the church. If they want to keep them, they can. We may use them down at the garden center. They're big, so they really have to stay somewhere where somebody needs something really large. And they should probably be kept inside. I don't think that wood putty and stuff should be exposed to a bunch of moisture, and I don't think the foam board would hold up for any amount of time in like inclement weather either. So it needs to be an inside decoration somewhere that can handle that big of a scale. Debbie says, I don't see a cord to the wreath. Are they battery operated? So there were lights in the wreath, and they came in the wreath. There's a battery pack, so battery operated. They just turn them on and off before services. I do think though I'm gonna go and add one more strand of lights because I did notice that they were dim. It was kind of like the lights were installed on the back part of the wreath, and I was trying to like separate the greens to make the light shine through a little bit more, and it wasn't working out great. So I do think I'll take up one more strand of lights. Manuel says, I like it, but why are you so conservative, Laura? Go big. I was hoping you were going to put up the snowflakes, and it would have been fun. Like I just explained, it would have been fun to see all of the glittery and like kind of the over the top look, but I just wanted it to be a little bit more simplistic and a little less distraction in the end. Katie asked, do you usually offer to decorate the church or are you asked? So usually how it goes is if I get an idea, I will go to them and ask them, like I'll tell them my idea and ask them if they want me to do that. And if they say yes, then I decorate. It doesn't happen though, but every like 3 to 5 years, because that's a huge area to decorate and it's kind of a big undertaking. So anyway, I usually let some time go between when I decorate. Jessica asks, what happened to the nativity painting? It is actually sitting in our barn in pieces. I have all 4 of the frame pieces and then the 2 painting pieces just sitting there. And I'm kind of thinking like, how many years before I can put that up again and people won't maybe remember it? I don't know. I'm hoping to use it somewhere at some point again. And what are you going to do with the practice window? So the practice window, I'll probably just, I don't know. I'll see if my mom wants to use it down at the garden center. I broke it in one spot. I like dropped it on, I can't remember what I dropped it on, but so there's a broken center piece anyway, and it's not that nice. Margot said, wouldn't it be pretty to put a backing on the windows that would glow in the dark to make it seem as though the windows have light glowing through them? Yes, that would be absolutely beautiful. And that was a huge thing, a huge comment about like adding some kind of lighting to the windows. There is actually a spotlight, and now I wish I would have showed you guys. When I did the thing at the very end of the video, kind of brought the lights down, you know, you couldn't see the windows anymore, but there are actual spotlights you can shine up on the windows, like right underneath them, or big ones that you can shine right at them, kind of from the ceiling. So we'll make sure to have the lighting just right so that you'll actually still be able to see them. But I do think it would be so pretty, and I thought about it briefly, like how could I put some kind of a really pretty glow like right directly behind these windows and make them look like they're actually glass, like some kind of a film that looks like glass with that soft yellow glow behind. And then I got to thinking about the infrastructure and the time that would take, and I only had so much time to give. So anyway, we just kind of ended up with what we ended up with. Andy says, where are the volunteers? Okay, so here's a little tidbit about me and my personality. Like I am a goer and a doer. I like to do things. I do not like to deliberate about things and like talk things through with other people very well. I like to just get in there and get it done. So I like to see projects, especially if it's my vision, I like to see it done from the very beginning to the very end. And I actually enjoy the process. I'm a very bad delegator too. And I will admit that. I'm trying to get better about it so that I can bring other people in. Usually I'll have, like my mom will come up and help. My dad helped as well in this case to help hang the windows. My sister will come help me periodically. But with family, it's very easy because you don't have to worry about people's feelings and stuff. You can just like work together quickly and efficiently and get stuff done. I've worked on group projects together with other people before several times, and I feel like things don't move very quickly, and it just like, oh, you have to worry about other people's feelings. And I know that's horrible. Like, this is a little glimpse into my personality, but I just work better solo. That sounds bad. I hope you guys still like me. All right, guys, so that's it for this week's recap video. I hope it was helpful to hear the answers. I am going to go inside now and play with Benjamin. I am so cold now. I was not for the first half of this video, and now I feel like I can hardly move my mouth. So anyway, see you guys in the next one. Bye.